The crypto market right now, we have just had the Fed meeting, and instead of what we thought would happen, which is they increased rates for the highest, the largest ever increase since 1994, an event which we thought would actually send the cryptocurrency market and all financial markets absolutely tumbling. But instead, we have had a breakout where the price of Bitcoin actually went from 20,500 to 22,000. What is going on? Why has the market reacted like this? Have we bottomed? Are we actually having a fake out right now where the impression is being given that, hey, we've bottomed, let's start buying? Or is this a trap? A trap that actually is going to get a ton of people wrecked who now put long positions in. If you don't know who I am, my name is the Suppoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency. I have been making cryptocurrency videos now for 5 years. My whole raison d'etre, my whole reason for living and being is to help you get a step closer to building your retirement fund using cryptocurrency exclusively. Why? Because it is the strongest asset class we have ever had in history. Bitcoin is the fastest growing asset that has ever existed in humankind. But cryptocurrency as an ecosystem has grown with Bitcoin. And as a result of that, you can invest in cryptocurrencies as a way of retiring early in life by making some fantastic investments. So let's just break it down. So we have had this Fed meeting, okay? So Jerome Powell has announced that they are raising the interest rate to 0.75 percentage points, the biggest increase since 1994. Now, what he also said in that meeting, because I watched it, is that he expects to actually maintain a high interest rate or high basis points on a monthly basis. Now, the reason why cryptocurrency markets have crashed this far is because of the rate of increase on the interest rate. So it went up 50 basis points. And what was said last month is that there was going to be a maintenance of 50 basis points, right? So it was going to go up by 0.5%. There was going to be a maintenance of that 0.5. So actually, we have gone up a whole 2.5%, the largest ever since 1994, and yet the market has shot up. Why? That is the question. So bear with me 1 second. Let me just make sure that you can hear me and that I'm live and everything is peachy, etc. Yes, it is. So let me just share this over to the people of Twitter. Bear with me 1 second. I think that I may have... Yeah, I did. Bear with me. I made a mistake with my title. Never mind. Good to see you people. I'm glad you are here. If I'm honest with you, I thought we were going to have a completely different stream today. So a lot of you will have noticed, if you follow me on Twitter, that I have become actually very, not bearish as such, but I've got a very bearish mentality where I am wanting for things to get bad. So why do I want things to get bad? Well, because I am absolutely convinced, there's no guarantee in life, but I'm absolutely convinced that the cryptocurrency market is going to be the route to retirement. It's going to be the easiest, fastest, and most accessible to the people route to retirement that there has ever been. Forget stocks, forget Forex trading, it is cryptocurrency. And the thing is that we know, we have a relative certainty that Bitcoin is one day going to be $100,000, $300,000. We know Ethereum is more than likely going to be $20,000, $50,000 over the course of time. So the best thing that we could possibly hope for is for the cryptocurrency market to drop literally as low as possible, because we are in a bear phase. We are in a process where we can accumulate essentially prices now. We are essentially accumulating incredibly strong assets right now that the price clock has been rewound back 5 years, yet the network effect has has moved on from that point. The network effect is huge at this point. The adoption is growing for all of the main layer ones that constitute the top 50 cryptocurrencies. And yet, we are having prices rolled back. We are seeing prices. We have already seen Ethereum go below its 2018 high. Meaning that we are seeing something we have never seen before, which is cryptocurrency prices going back below previous all-time high levels after hitting a new all-time high. We are in territory we have never been in before. And the thing is that if we wait long enough, then these cryptocurrency prices are most likely, in my opinion, going to go lower. Now, I am looking to buy a lot of top cryptocurrencies for knockdown prices. 50% of what we see today. In some cases, nearly 75% lower than what we see today. So it's very, very surprising to see that the dollar, which was actually being kept above this 55 30-minute moving average. Okay, this was a very good indicator of short-term volatility. And the price of the dollar was surging above this line, therefore providing support for it. But all we have seen is the line we saw the line get decimated. It went up this high, 105.46, all the way down to 104.5, and now we are halfway there. In fact, we are underneath that support. And yet for Bitcoin, using the same time frame, we can see that over the course of the last few days, we have been having lower highs and we have been descending. We've been compressing. We've been going down, and it looked as if we would actually fall. We had this 55 30-minute moving average acting as resistance, and we've blown through it. Unbelievable. Now, my honest opinion is that what we have had, so we have had Bitcoin today, if I just, oh no, I can't. Yes, I can. So if I just show you here, we have had Bitcoin today going as low as 20,071. So we were on the cusp of doing something that has never been done before, which is essentially going below Bitcoin's previous all-time high, which was 20k back in 2017. Doing so gives us a much larger range to bottom. Because once we've done that, we enter new territory. We enter territory never been entered in the 13-year history of Bitcoin's entire price range. They've never ever gone below its previous all-time high. So we were potentially going to see an implosion of Bitcoin because we've got a load of macroeconomic factors, a load of crypto-specific factors that should be actually sending Bitcoin right plummeting down. But it isn't. But my personal, honest opinion is this. Is that we have actually priced in a lot of the volatility of Bitcoin in anticipation of an increased interest rate. So what happened is that in between Bitcoin being 27k and 20k, we priced in the worst case scenario of 0.75 being that interest rate. But the thing is that the promise in last month's meeting was that we were going to maintain 0.5, right? And now what's been said is we've actually gone against that and we are going to 0.75 and we are going to stay there, if not potentially increase it to control inflation. So given incredibly strong words, incredibly decisive words, a U-turn on what was said before, it's very, very weird to see Bitcoin reacting like this. So my honest opinion is we priced in the volatility, but I don't think that we are seeing the full repercussions of that decision yet. What we are seeing is market manipulation taking place, which is essentially what causes fake outs. Essentially, people begin to second guess what is happening with the crypto market. They're beginning to think, oh, you know what? Bitcoin has for the first time gotten incredibly close to its all-time low, well, to its previous all-time high, and therefore all-time low during a bear market versus where it achieved at a peak. And so as a result of that, we're now going to go up. We've bottomed. We are going to go up. 20k was the bottom. We're going to now go to 25 to 30 to 35 to 40 to 50 and a new all-time high and all that kind of thing. And people may start to get bullish temporarily. And this is perfect cannon fodder for leverage trading and for the leverage market. So what I think is happening right now is essentially we had a diatribe of shorts. Given what people were expecting was going to happen, which is that the rates were going to increase, the price was going to fall, shorts were opened, perfect cannon fodder for the exchanges that offer, and not only exchanges in cryptocurrency, but also the stock market as well. Essentially allowing for people to now turn around, they liquidate the shorts, people then turn into longs, they liquidate the longs, bang, we go back to going to lows again. And that is what I think is going to happen. So I think that what we are having is a temporary increase of the price to essentially make people have conversation, make people second guess, make people open up activity on these futures trading platforms. And then they are going to be sunk. They're going to be wrecked. And this is why I don't do leverage trading, because this is how it works in leverage trading. They make you think something's going to happen. The price makes you think something's going to happen. It leads to an action. And then that action, the house always wins. Leverage trading platforms always wins. So as far as I'm concerned, I think this is temporary. I am not buying into this increase. I do think that a bit of relief has been released into the air. You know, we had extreme fear. Look, we were at position 7 as far as fear, which is the lowest we have had. I think one of the lowest we have ever had. The lowest we have ever had is about 4. Well, it doesn't say it on here. Lowest we've ever had is about 4 or 5. For the most part, we have gone down to 8, 9, and we've been 10. Today, at 7, is the second lowest, second highest fear, second lowest ever figure recorded, and the second highest amount of fear. So what do you do with that fear? If you create more fear, then there's less people to burn. So as far as I'm concerned, what I believe has happened is they're trying to turn it around, make people a bit more positive, make people a bit more greedy, open up longs, because they think that we have bottomed, and then wreck the hell out of those people too. So wreck the hell out of people who have shorted, because the fear was extremely high, which is absolutely gonna be advantageous to leverage trading or futures trading platforms and businesses. Get the fear extremely high, get people creating shorts. We have a potential, suffering from hay fever somewhat, have a potential scenario where Fed are going to increase rates, prices are going to plummet. And so people just expected, it was almost certain that people were expecting for the price to absolutely tank, and yet the opposite happened. So I think this is pure market manipulation, getting people to operate under a position of greed, operate under a position of blue skies, positivity, bullishness, hoping the market has done a U-turn. Done a U-turn just like how the Fed did a U-turn. But I don't think this is going to last. I do expect all-time high prices, personal opinion, not financial advice, not wanting you to essentially make all of your investment decisions based on me. But I do think that come tomorrow, we'll probably start seeing a reversal back. My personal opinion. Now, in the meantime, I have got a new cryptocurrency, which I am looking to buy on a massive discount from its current price. So I will not be buying it yet. I made dollar cost average into it, but it has fallen about 4x from its all-time high. It's had a massive fall. In fact, I think it's bigger than that. It's certainly 4x lower than it was approaching its all-time high. So right now actually opens up the potential to get it right now at a price that was available in January 2021. Buying it now, basically you're buying it before all of the bullishness it achieved last year. But I am waiting for it to lose at least 50% of its value. And I'll get into that in a minute. But firstly, I want to speak to you guys. And I want you to tell me, which do you think is the cryptocurrency. Has the hike been announced yet? Yes, it has been announced. The live stream happened. I think it's probably still going on. But essentially, the announcement happened. The announcement happened of increasing rates to 0.75, which is 0.25 higher than they said it was going to be. So they have done a massive U-turn on where they were previously going. So let's just have a look and see what you guys have got to say. So who have we got in the house? We've got Thomas, Dijan, Glinbert, Saeed, Kaislin, Jeffrey, Hashmat, Lindsay, Yasir, USA Local SEO, Jan, Alan, Christopher, Hannah, Luke, John, NH, Sando TV, John UK. How does it feel to be more sexy than my husband? Thank you very much, John's wife. Still super bearish. Hey, Supo, started to think you've evolved past sleep. Always on fire. Yeah, I think I've transcended sleep. I think I have gone into a new dimension. I think that I have become an enlightened one. Let's go crypto. I made it, Supo. Hello again from Calgary. I want to make more of an effort to talk to you guys. DCAing is the only strategy for now. Yes, I agree with you, Lydia, to a point. But I am planning to do large DCAing down the line. Okay, so if I just take you to my Twitter. So the guy who got me into cryptocurrency, his name's RJ Rajendran. Okay, so he was one of my students on Udemy, and we became friends. And we became friends in 2016. And as a result of us becoming friends, you know, I was helping him with, I suppose, launching as a personality on Facebook. And whilst doing this, during our friendship, I saw him talking a lot about cryptocurrency. Okay, so he would be talking about waves and Ethereum, and I didn't know what these were. All right, but what I saw was he was saying one day, waves is going to go up, get into it. Next, and I didn't know what he was talking about. Next day I would look, waves have shot up like 5x. And I'm like, what? What is this? What's waves? How can I get into it, right? So I was thinking, it got me thinking, right? So I was thinking, I don't even know what cryptocurrency really is. Don't really know what Bitcoin is. But this sounds very interesting. Anyway, and then the next time he was like, guys, get into Ripple. Get into Ripple. And I was like, RJ, tell me more about this Ripple, blah, 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 blah. He says, get a moon, yada, 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 just get into it. So I got into it, and it made a huge, huge multiplier. It made a 40x multiplier. And then the next day he was posting it, and people that followed his call made lots of money, right? So anyway, he and I have essentially reverse engineered a lot of his tactics, how he was able to find that. I reverse engineered it very early, and turned it into a course, essentially, which is one of the first things that I did back in 2017 because I wanted to learn this market myself. Anyway, RJ Rajendran is typically pretty spot on, even when I've disagreed with him. So back in 2018, I think it was July 2018, when the prices were about 9k, Bitcoin was about 9k. He was like, Bitcoin's going to go down to 3,000. And I was like, I don't believe that at all, right? And I was maintaining this bullish, appearance. And like, yeah, we're going to go up, blah, 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 blah. What happened at the end of the year? It went down to 3,000. So the guy knows what he's talking about. Anyway, so he has said this to me. He said, Michael, keep your cash ready and prepared. When the recession hits, so many weak hands are going to sell. Then we swoop in when there's blood in the streets and rise up like the phoenix when the recession ends. So what he sees is a hell of a lot more long-term pain. And so I already had this opinion that the macroeconomic environment would lead to long-term pain. But he said this to me on whatever day I posted it. So this was yesterday, I think it was. It may have been the day before yesterday, when his son was born, and this is what he said it to me as part of the comment. So I don't disagree with this. My personal opinion, is that people that think Bitcoin is anywhere near a bottom are foolish, simply because we have got 2 years until the halving. Now, yes, we could go up pre-halving, okay, in the run-up to the halving. You know, like we had in May 2020, when the price was going up to about 10k at that point. You know, it was moving up. That there was quite clearly a change, and the best time to have bought was March, April time. So May, you know, the trajectory had already began. Come June, it was already over, right? To have got the best prices. So a pump can happen pre the halving, right? So just before the halving, if the economic environment has changed, if inflation has been controlled because of these high interest rates, these measures of quantitative tightening, the recession that hopefully resets it, has, you know, basically creates a bigger reversal, even though there's more short-term pain. There's bigger pain, but it leads to a quicker reversal rather than a slow bleed out. So what I anticipate is going to happen is we're going to have a recession, then we're going to have quantitative easing, and then we're going to have people getting stimulus checks. Okay, and then the pattern basically repeats. Okay, and we get out of this. We get out of this, and then we are motivated to get out of it because everybody's been feeling so poor for so long. Right? So I think that we have got a potential world of pain between now and the beginning, anyway, of 2024. I think that the lion's share of the bad stuff is going to happen in 2023. There is a potential relief rally in 2022. The end of the year, if these high interest rates now, these high interest rates that you see, if they work, if they actually work, and they do bring inflation down, it does lead to some joblessness, because what Jerome Powell was saying in this conference is he was saying the job market's extremely tight. We are having no people being let go, and we've got hardly any jobs for people to. We've got hardly any unemployment, right? So it's creating a more buoyant economy, more spending, increased oil and gas prices, increased commodity costs. All of this is going to keep on making the market harder to control. Hence why a recession is needed to full stop this crap, basically. To basically get us back to a position where we are growing again, and where we can have another bull market again, and hopefully next time, not a bull market of 1.5 years or 2 years, but a bull market of maybe 5 to 10 years in cryptocurrency. And given that, because we are, look, inflation is the highest it's ever been since the 80s, and we are having the largest interest rate since 1994. We are in not unprecedented times, but incredibly harsh economic times. Times of which we have not seen for decades. So I'm not going to downplay the harshness of what's to come. We are in a shit show. It's going to be difficult to get out of. And in getting out of it, there's going to be huge volatility. And so some days we are going to have we're going to have Bitcoin rising like it is today. And we are going to have Bitcoin plummeting like it has over the last week. And I do think this is a fake out. I personally think this is market manipulation, getting leverage to reverse, increase in longs, bam, smash the longs. Get all crypto Twitter bounding about, we've bottomed. Bitcoin's bouncing. All of that create a perfect storm. People get positive. People create longs. Think we're going up. Start making buys. Wreck them. Cannon fodder. That's what the leverage trading platforms are going to do. That's how they make money. Leverage trading platforms make money in a bear market. That's how they do it. Wrecking, not noobs necessarily, wrecking everyone. And there's still so much pain to come. You know, what we have had in the last week is essentially we have had 3 arrows. They're in massive financial trouble. 3 Arrows is one of the big VCs in cryptocurrency. I've got them as a tier 1 investor. They invest in quality projects, and they've even created a DeFi arm, which is Defiant or something like that. Defiant was their DeFi arm, so that they can get involved in DAOs and all that kind of thing. And they're in massive trouble. Now, we have had Luna. We have had Celsius. Celsius are looking to regain control back and survive what has been a PR nightmare. And then Three Arrows going down, right? Potentially. Right? Losing them in the space. Now, if you think Three Arrows... Look, if you think Luna, Celsius, and Three Arrows are the only casualties there's going to be over the next 2 years, you're wrong. Coinbase also have begun to lay off staff, and in droves as well. Brian Armstrong made an announcement yesterday that they're going to be laying, or they're already started to lay off a load of staff. I think in the thousands. And so this is just the beginning, I think, of a shit show train, like just a negative sentiment train. You know, we're going to see more projects going down, more VCs going down, more platforms maybe going down. You know, but these are all fueling the narrative. Once we get back into bullishness, you'll see a reversal in the sentiment that's created. The news that's coming out is going to be far more positive. There's going to be some good times created. So, but in the meantime, we're in very volatile times. Those volatile times are going to lead to trouble for a lot of entities. Three Arrows Capital, as far as I'm concerned, have made some very, very good investments. You know, but if I look at what they've invested in most recently, so they invested in Solace, they invested in a load of cryptocurrencies that came out at the latter end of last year that ended up making a huge loss. Secondly, irresponsibly, they probably used some of these interest generating platforms to increase their fiat, and they've got burnt by this. Okay, so at the moment they're trying to, you know, this is Zhu Shu of Three Arrows, and yeah, Defiance. There we are. That's the DeFi arm. So they are, yeah, they're in the process of trying to sort things out, just like Luna tried, just like Celsius are trying. But I think ultimately it's gonna come to, well, I think ultimately they're probably narratives for further down the line. Anyway, how did I? Oh yeah, that was set me off from what one person says. So thank you, Lydia. Milan, thoughts on MTRG and Woo? Nothing, to be honest. MTRG, I think I can't even remember it. I remember covering it last April, and I think that it was a layer 1, but I can't remember much after that. Oh yeah, backed by Pantera. Yeah, I remember now. Pantera and GBIC. But there was something else. I think that these guys were looking to be a competitor to Polygon. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in anything right now that's a micro cap. I mean, yeah, it's probably got potential, you know, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not long term, I'm not interested in going for cryptocurrencies that are going to require me to keep looking at my portfolio and thinking, should I sell, should I not sell? I want to invest in things for the long term. I don't want to be investing in things that I'm probably going to drop after one cycle or drop mid-cycle. I want to invest in things that really I'm going to be investing for and don't have to worry about it. I just need to keep stacking and not worry about it for a period of 5 to 10 years. When we're in a bull market, yeah, you can speculate on all sorts of things and they're going to go up. You know, there's no conscience in a bull market, essentially. In a bull market, everything goes up. Doesn't matter how shit it is, right? So I don't mind speculating in a bull market, but you know, for the long term, I am looking to have a solid portfolio made up of around about 10 to 15 cryptocurrencies, and then with a view to adding maybe over the course of time during a bull market. As for Woo, I don't know them. I know I could have gotten into this at private sale, but I didn't. Trading platform, zero fee trading, yada yada yada. Yeah, I think these guys are well backed. Don't really care for it. But thank you for the... yes, look at this. So we've had people guessing. I'm so far behind on the chat. Can IPX become the next Shiba? No. It won't. Should we be scalping right now? I'm not. You know, the time to scalp is deep in the red. You know, like the other day when I showed you my Binance buys, I thought they were very good buy prices, if I'm honest with you. That would have been a time. Or when Bitcoin was at 20k this morning. Even though Bitcoin was at 20k this morning, I made little in the way of profits, funnily enough. You know, because I've got a number of buy orders. Waiting to be satisfied that have not yet been satisfied. So I'm waiting on those. But, you know, prices could go down overnight. In which case, it would be a good idea for you to have an idea of ideal buy prices to do your first wave of dollar cost averaging. And then put them down as your markers. And then that will commit you to investing in them over a longer term. Oh, we've got lots of people saying hi now. Lots of people. Buddy Holidays in the house. Gabrielle. Barry, Khalid, Mbatavirus, Nathan Julian, Nassos, Jack, Thomas Peterson, Angie. It's alright, you can always watch it back. Fantastico, Sparker77777. Kamran, love from India. Thank you very much, Kamran. Ali, hi super from Lebanon. Nice. Still bullish on Verve? No. I'm not bullish on anything that's a micro cap right now. Not bullish at all. Astro Bear Z, hi super from Down Under. Do you come from a land down under? Oh yeah, yo. Benjamin Stanley. Why is RJ account suspended on Twitter? I don't know. He's not on Twitter. He's on Facebook anyway. TJ, I'm buying Hex. I'm buying Hex below %. Let's have a look and see how Hex is doing. Hex, I imagine, has probably been bought the shite out of. Let's have a look. Let's see what happens. Oh, no, it hasn't been, actually. Not many people bullish on Hex. By the way, people, you may have seen yesterday, I posted this. Jerry Banfield was another person that got me into cryptocurrency. I find him very entertaining. He's very good to watch on an entertainment aspect. So I would recommend that you watch some of his stuff on YouTube. He is kind of a Bitcoin maximalist, but he's become one anyway. I mean, he was responsible for Dash going... Well, not responsible, but one of the people helping Dash go from $10 to $1,600 back in 2017. And he's recently come back into crypto. But he's come back as kind of a Bitcoin maximalist. So I would recommend you just check him out. He's very, very good on education. But anyway, yeah. So Hex, I think, will definitely hit that buy price at some point. Buddy. I'm buying Stratos. What about Karura? Don't care. You know, Karura has been superseded by Akala. Shibarium. I think Shiba's a good one. You know, I even though we are now in bearish times, Shiba Inu, I think, is still a very strong cryptocurrency. Shiba Inu is one of those ones that doesn't really make logical sense, but explains a lot about human behavior. You know, a lot of people who get into cryptocurrency don't want to spend the time to learn about blockchains, layer 1s, layer 2s, proof of work, proof of stake, Byzantine fault tolerance, SHA-256, any of that stuff. They don't want to know. They want to have some exposure and they want to get into something they identify with. And that is what Shiba Inu is. Shiba Inu, like Doge, is very much just that you're just getting into something you like the look of. It's a little bit like people who watch cat videos. You know, it's just like you're just attracted to things you kind of understand and make no sense, but at the same time, you know, has an appeal from a psychological perspective. Buddy Holidays, thank you very much for the $4.99. Do you trust stablecoins in this environment? Are you not concerned about possible depegging? No, I'm not really. I mean, it's always a threat. You know, the main stablecoin I hold is BUSD, and BNB, BUSD, the things kind of tied into the Binance exchange are kind of tied into Bitcoin. I find it relatively safer. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel with algorithmic stable coins. I think that Binance are probably going to have amongst the best backing. They've got one of the biggest wallets of Bitcoin. They're one of the biggest Bitcoin wallet holders or Bitcoin coin holders. So as a result of that, I don't think that anything bad's going to happen with BUSD. With the newer ones, you never know. Like USDD, I don't think that's very good. USDT, I think that's probably borderline under attack. But I think USDC is fine. But you never know what can happen. With regulation, that could be another narrative that sends things going a little bit haywire. Right, okay. Can NFTL recover to $1? Maybe. Who knows? I mean, it'll be quite difficult because what you're looking for a microcap to do is essentially last this whole bear period, survive and thrive. A lot will survive. A lot of cryptocurrencies from 2017 still have liquidity, are still traded, but they're not thriving. A lot of them, even the top ones like Neo, Zilliqa, never got close to their 2018 highs. And, to expect that of an altcoin will be even harder. But you never know. It all depends. It's all reliant on token demand. And NFTL, I think, has the weakest token demand. Did you invest in Tidex? I did invest in Tidex, but not very much. Hi, Suppo. Your bear list is excellent. Please add some microcaps. I'm not going to be adding microcaps. Except for the ones that are already in it. I want it to be a strong list I personally am targeting. And microcaps don't fall into that. I invested 40k in Big Time Game Space. Please give your thoughts on it. Yeah, I looked into Big Time because I was going to be one of their investors as well. It's probably going to do well, I would say. Quite a strong brand, but their timing is awful. So you have to wait until after, I think, after all of this, after all this shit is cleared. Right, okay. Let's have a look at this new coin, right? So, a lot of you guessed it, and it is this one, Elrond, okay? Now, Elrond made me excited. The reason why is because of what I am looking for in a future long-term multi-cycle cryptocurrency. All right, now I'm not interested at this price, just to put it out there, but I am very interested in the technology. Okay, so what I see is that Elrond is essentially Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum 2 in one cryptocurrency. What I mean by that is it's trying to be a store of value with a low inflation rate and a scarcity of coins. So a lot of the cryptocurrencies I really like, Moonbeam, Moonriver, Ethereum even, so maybe not so much Solana, Velas and all that, have got unlimited supply, unlimited uncapped supply. They've got a steady inflation rate of 5%, 5 to 6%, which will just go on and go on and go on forever. There is no max supply. Elrond has a max supply. The max supply is 31 million. Its circulating supply at this present time is 22 million. So that means that for its entire lifespan, forever, it's not going to go more than 10 million more more coins in circulation than what is out there at the moment. And it's essentially got 66%, if not a little bit more, 66% already out there. The other 30% is going to be inflated over time, but potentially offset by the transaction fees. So Elrond can essentially keep inflation right down of its meager inflation as it is. It can keep that inflation right down the more the network is used. So transaction fees, the more transactions there are, the less coins are put into circulation. Because therefore less coins are needed to pay the node operators. Okay? So What that means is that it leads to a potential scarcity of supply, and it will never exceed 31. So what it's looking to do is it's kind of got an inflation rate at this point, I think, of 9%. So first year, which was last year, 10%, then 9%, then 8%, then 7%, and then after 10 years, it's all out there. But if high transaction fees take place on Elrond, which they are, because they have got the Maya app, they've got DeFi now on Elrond, it's grown in network effect, then they can essentially keep that scarcity as a potential store of value. Secondly, they have got adaptive sharding. Adaptive sharding means that it is a sharded blockchain. So let me go to it. So they have got a blockchain like most others. So you've got like Ethereum as a blockchain, right? Everything is done within a central pool of nodes or miners, right? But sharding means that you have essentially split that blockchain into multiple different sections, and each transaction can be filtered into each of these sections, therefore making the transaction speed very, very fast. So their transaction speed is 250,000 transactions per second in testnet, but in real terms, since mainnet, it's been 16,000 transactions per second, compared with the likes of Polkadot, which is 1,000, Cardano, which is 1,000. It's obviously slower than Solana, but there's been no downtime. So Solana has had downtime. So although it's got fast transaction speed and finality, it has had downtime and it's struggled. So Elrond is essentially a green proof of stake, adaptive sharded and multi-sharded blockchain infrastructure that has got Bitcoin store of value potential. All right, so it is basically taking qualities from the best blockchains and putting it into one cryptocurrency. Hence why this is known as the Internet of Values. Okay, this is known as the Internet of Values. All right, so it's the one. It's the one. The one is essentially what this is touted as, the one that achieves everything. And of course, you've got very minimal transaction cost as well. So something that we have seen in Solana is that transaction costs, it makes the world of difference. If you've got fast finality and a low transaction cost, you have got a blockchain that is made for the mass market. But recently, they have bought out an app called the Maya app. And that has turned into an exchange. So that app has the ability to farm, to do DeFi functionality, to do DeFi activities, but at the same time, it has an exchange. So it allows for you to not only yield farm and earn a yield from their Maya token mixed with their Elrond token, or eGold. So the eGold is relative to the store of value. But also they've got an exchange, which is growing. So essentially, more and more adoption is coming here. Now they have got some good venture capitalists. So they've got Binance Labs as one of their venture capitalists. And of course, they're listed on Binance Labs. They've also got NGC as one of their investors also. Their staking has only recently started. And you can earn a decent... So this is why I am looking to get Elrond on a much bigger discount than what it is on now. I don't want it in the mid-40s. Even though, if we have a look at the price history, where we are now... in the mid-40s is essentially going back to January 2021, before this and then subsequently this. So we are erasing all of that history, and this history is based on the network effect it's grown, the partnerships. They have got so many partnerships. They recently acquired Utrust. Utrust, as we know, is like the PayPal of cryptocurrency. And in an effort for Elrond, as they build to 1 billion users, as they create the ecosystem for Web3, using the likes of Utrust, and that is a serious acquisition, because that is going to enable for cryptocurrency payments, and they have got that technology already within the business because they bought Utrust. So they have achieved all of that network effect, all of that effort, which took place last year, but rewinding the clock before it, but on the price, rewinding the clock before all of that took place. But I am looking to get it around down here. And I think that given the market environment that we have got at the moment, that can be achieved. All right, so Elrond I like because it's got that scarcity. It's not got a low market cap. What I look for in cryptocurrencies is a low market cap. So I would be looking for Elrond to get to be at least a half a billion microcap before I get into it. But if we have a look and see its highest ever market cap achieved, it was 10 billion. So it was $300,000 away, I think, from being a large cap, being one of the elite. And of course, it's gone down. Now, over the course of time, if you get this at a good enough discount and you just let it free ride, then you have essentially got an absolute powerhouse just building value for you over the course of time, being in the potential multiple 100 millions over time. Because it sounds like this is grand scope. They've got the partnerships, massive amounts of partnerships. And they're already building a lot of network effect. They already got an ecosystem. But where I was going with that is the staking, right? So if you can get it, so let's say, for instance, you were able to get Elrond at $22 rather than $44. Then when the price does go back to $44, and let's say you get 1,000 Elrond, then you would be earning $10,000. You'd be earning $10,000 a year in staking. $10,000 a year in staking. That to me is pretty insane. Okay, so it's got passive income as well. So it's got a lot of benefits. I love the sound of this. And really, oh Jesus. And really, I'm looking for this to... It's like the old days. And I'm looking for this to go down to half, well, more than half the value it is now. Anyway, yeah, so Elrond, very, very strong. Love the look of it. From a fundamental perspective, incredibly strong. And we'll just have to wait now. Just have to wait. You know, as you would have seen from my tweets earlier today, you just have to wait. So I've said here, fine, have your rally now. This was because the market went down to 20k this morning, and then it shot up to 22k. Like what's happened in the last couple of hours. So I was like, have your rally now. You'll drop at some point, and I'll be waiting with big fat bag of stables. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait for people to get wrecked. Because if you're investing now, the best thing you could be doing is trading right now. Because as the volatility is sublime right now, you've got massive downward pressure and selling, leading to a relief rally where you are seeing some altcoins shooting up in value. It's a perfect time for trading. Like some people like who could make maybe 50% on a relief rally, sell it, and that, well, depending on what the tax situation is like in your country, could be an opportunity to sell it and have double the amount of, you know, disposable income to be able to then spend later on during the dip. So people, yeah, so that has now been added, but like I say, and if I look on the bear market hit list, so let's go to that, which this is now sitting on, it's third. So it's, oh Jesus, it's not good news. Anyway, Elrond's got up $51 now. So, yeah, so it's sitting in third place. So it's still behind Decentraland and behind Near, but it's definitely more in the upper echelon of cryptocurrencies. And I am looking for my money to travel far. I think that it will travel far with Elrond if you get in the right price. Because look at the explosiveness. Like, it's basically... Oh, other than Stratos. It's basically exploded to the second highest amount on this list. So, you know, so therefore... it's showing it's got explosive power. We want more Stratus updates. I will. I will update you. If anything happens, I will update you. As far as I'm concerned, nothing has really massively changed. Will you accumulate ADA? Do you still see ADA at 200? Oh, on the very long term, I do. And the reason I do is because ADA is going to be deflationary after 2030. After 2030, it goes into deflationary. Okay, because all the supply will be out there. Okay, and by that time, hopefully, they will have all the benefits we were designed to see we were meant to see designed on Cardano, which is the very, very fast block, very, very fast transactions per second, very fast block finality, protected network, a massive Ethereum killer at that point. So yeah, I won't be I don't think I'll be accumulating ADA, because I think I've got enough ADA. I accumulated ADA in between 2 to 7 cents. Like, getting into it, unless it's that price again, would not make any sense to me. But thank you for the question and also for the contribution, Milan. Siva, thanks for the response. What do you think about Rose, Credo, and Efinity? Infinity's okay. Rose probably okay. Credo's probably okay. I don't really think much of them, if I'm honest with you. Like, there's only so many people you can... Like, in your life, there's only so many people you can love. Like, unless you're Jesus, where you love everyone, and God, where you love everyone, there's only space for a certain finite amount of people in your life so that you can give good amounts of love out to, and it's not diluted too much, right? And it's the same in cryptocurrency, for me anyway. You know, I've only got space in my life for a certain amount of cryptos before it's either too big to manage or I don't give a shit about half of what I've got. And I want to care about what I've got because I want to keep stacking them, and it's my retirement fund. So why would I not care? So I want to care. So as a result of that, you know, I will go for things that, in my opinion, are truly outstanding or special. You know, and on the basis of my research, yeah, I will find out whether something's really truly special. Now, Credo, I think, as a micro cap cryptocurrency, and I think anyway, I don't know for sure, but I think it's had its whole trajectory rewound, its whole price trajectory. So the lowest I ever saw this was 82 cents. So it's half of that now. And it's got decent volume. As you can see here, it's essentially a fifth. It's 1 to 5 ratio. It's a fifth of its market cap. But to me, it's just nothing incredible. It's nothing incredible to me. It is speculative. It's a distraction, I would call this a distraction. It's like, oh, look, there's something else exciting I could... No, I'm not going to bother. I'm only going to invest in what I personally think has really good long-term fundamentals, and I'm not going to sell it for a long time. Oasis, that has got less than 4. That's got more than 4 to 1. And this has been around for a while. Layer 1 network, Web 3. It's just literally a mid-cap. Only 6k into being a mid-cap. But I don't care for it. I have no interest in it. You know, there's lots of crypto. Unless there's something extra special about it, I don't care. Efinity is pretty good. That is something that wow. I mean, it's just been absolutely decimated. Now, this is essentially the Polygon of NFTs, or at least that was what it was touted to be. So, metaverse NFTs, a little bit of competitor to Immutable X, Engines project, built on Polkadot, so it's got the strength, like the kind of strength that you see from Moonbeam, etc. But it's too focused on NFTs. That's the problem. You know, when there's NFT season, you see Engine flying, and you see this flying as well, but it's a little bit more niche than maybe Credo or Rose. Rose are more multi-narrative. Any news on Pulse X? No, not that I know of. And I think it's very much up in the air at this present time. You know, it's when will Richard Hart choose to bring out the project is what it boils down to. And you know, if you were Richard Hart, would you bring out a project at this time? No, you wouldn't. It would be good for investors who didn't sacrifice. So if you didn't sacrifice for Pulse X or Pulse Chain, then it coming out now would be a glorious thing, because it would go low. It would go low. And it would be a good thing, I think, for Pulse Chain. It wouldn't be great for sacrificers. Yeah, we'd be pissed. But on the plus side, you know, if it came out and went low, it would accumulate more of a network effect. Amongst retail. There'd be more people that jumps on board the wagon and stays for the long term, rather than people, if it shoots out and goes too high, people aren't going to get into it. So it's not going to be supported by a big community. Only the people that are currently in it. So, yeah, so I don't know when is a good time to bring it out. But I actually think that he should bring it out next year. Just like when he brought out Hex. He brought out Hex in 2019, end of 2019, I think, if I think correctly. And that was 6 months before the bull market started. Yeah, about 6 months before the bull market started. So I'd bring it out next year. Bring out Pulse Chain next year. And in that meantime, it's going to absolutely kill Hex. Because Hex grew because of Pulse Chain and Pulse X. And the longer they get delayed, and the more Richard Hart says, I'm delaying, the more likelihood it is this is going to get rinsed. So that in conjunction with the market environment will probably mean that Hex will just get decimated. Moonbeam. Yeah, Moonbeam's strong. You're a gem. Thank you very much, Farid. You're a gem, following you since 2016, got into crypto. I appreciate that. Is Conv dead? Right now it is, yeah. Thanks, Super. I'm not in a loss so far, only because of you. Refinable Glimmer Mover gave me a ton. Yes, well, if you got out of Refinable at the right time, you definitely got a ton. If you didn't, then you're absolutely wrecked. But cool, I'm glad to hear it, Siva. What's the bottom for Bitcoin according to you? I think that the bottom for Bitcoin is around about 8K. I think the bottom from Ethereum is $300. $200, $300. So I've got buy orders. I've got kind of small to increasing buy orders of Ethereum over time. I've only put some of them so far. Let's have a look and see how it's going. Yeah, the dollar's still struggling. But on the plus side, though, you know, we are seeing a retracement back into this zone. So I think that is going to be the crucial party. Are we having a temporary wick and a fake out and we're going to go back into it? Or are we going to have a reversal? It's difficult to say at this point, but this is a good engulfing candle, so it looks good for the temporary period. But I very much expected a different stream to what we're having now, if I'm honest with you. But then at the same time, it shouldn't surprise me. So what the key things I'm looking at are that we get close to 3 metrics. The 3 metrics are Bitcoin's previous all-time high. Now, it's a little bit confusing as to what that is. What I saw was 19,837. So I actually was doing a live stream all the way back when Bitcoin topped last time, okay? And the title of my stream was bad, okay? So it was time to retire from cryptocurrency. If any title symbolizes euphoria more, it's that, right? That is the title where you're doing so well that you feel like you can retire now. And that should have been where it ended. Don't go. I don't want you to go. Where's the bloody cursor? Please. Right, anyway. So if you have a look there, the all-time high, I don't know how much of that you can see. The all-time high was 19,842. And I think I literally caught the top. So that was the market cap when Bitcoin topped. When the altcoins topped, it was 835 billion. All right, so the 3 levels I'm looking at, one has already been smashed, and that is Ethereum's previous 2018 all-time high, which was $1,400, I think. So that has already been smashed. So the next 2 to go are the market cap all-time 2017-18 all-time high, and the Bitcoin 2017-18 all-time high, because those have never been breached in history. So if that happens, then we are probably going to be seeing a whole chasm opening as far as Bitcoin could plummet, right? So those are the next areas of resistance. So that is why if we have a look at the charts, Bitcoin literally bounced off of $20,071. It ate through 22 to 20k, ate through all of those buy orders. Okay, so think about it. There are a ton, a monstrous amount of buy orders between 22 and 20. People trying to scoop up cheap Bitcoin, and so the price had to eat and penetrate through all of that, right? And it literally failed at the last attempt, which was 20,000, which is when the amount, the sheer level of buy orders was so high, right? So it bounced off of that, and that represents pretty much the all-time high of 2017 for Bitcoin. So therefore, it's the strongest resistance, and that is the area. But, you know, I think that for the short term, you know, kind of this year, maybe the next 3 months, I foresee a low of 14k. As to the long term, like 2023, right in the depths of depression and recession, we could be seeing 8k. You know, so yeah. So I think that I'm saving it. I'm saving it. You know, I'm one of those people that's happy to take the risk. You know, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm happy to take the risk that I see a price, I see where the momentum is going, and I see how long that momentum has to carry, and I kind of place a figure on it. You know, and that's all you can do at the end of the day. And so, to me, 8k would represent a fantastic time to get into Bitcoin. I am personally not going to buy into Bitcoin at that price because I got my Bitcoin. You know, I've got a decent address size for Bitcoin. I don't need any more Bitcoin. But Ethereum, I see, has more upside. So Bitcoin, there's an argument that, you know, it's more sound money, stronger, safer money, because every other cryptocurrency relies on it, all exchanges rely on it. It's a store of value. It's a fantastic hedge against inflation. It has the potential, out of every other cryptocurrency out there, to be that one, what's the word? World reserve currency. That's the one. If we have a look back through time, we can see that inflation has gone through the roof for all currencies, not just the dollar, all currencies. And the purchasing power has evaporated out of all currencies. If we look back to 1971 cost of living, all right, 25,000 was the cost of a house, and 10,000 was what people earned average income a year. What I would say that is now, correct me if I'm wrong, is about 30,000, 25 to 30,000, yet a new house is 250,000. So basically this has 10x'd, and this has 2.5 to 3x'd. A new car also is probably about 5x more than that. Average rent is probably about 4x more. And the average income is so separated now from the cost of living back from 1971. We have lost so much. And I think one of the best ways of being able to picturize that is the cost of Campbell's condensed tomato soup. So in between 1895 and 1975, which is essentially 80 years, the price was pretty constant at 10 cents. And then over the course of time, in the last 45 years, essentially what we have seen is we have just seen inflation go out of control, the purchasing power go out of control, the cost of goods too high relative to what people are earning, and now the cost is $1. So 10 cents to $1, it's 10x'd. While people's purchasing power has 2.5 to 5 to 3x'd. If you're in higher positions, fantastic. But essentially what's happening now is we are seeing a massive disparity between productivity and compensation. So where we were once upon a time fairly paid for our productivity, now we're working double, if not more than double, for the same amount of compensation. It sucks. So it shows a need for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is very strong. But as far as I'm concerned, Ethereum has more upside potential. So Bitcoin probably has greater long-term potential. It's the one to outlast everything. It'll probably be the one that outlasts everything, merely because of store of value, world reserve currency qualities, potential global adoption over time, potential to avert financial disasters like we're having now, the more countries that are actually in it, etc., etc. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon because you've got to essentially penetrate through the stubbornness and corruption of government. But it's probably got the best likelihood of being the global bank and global store of value. But Ethereum, I think, will grow with Bitcoin. And there's so many people speculating on the flippening of Ethereum being eventually the number one cryptocurrency. It does way more than Bitcoin, which you could argue is a good or a bad thing. But yeah, so Ethereum would be the one I would be looking to probably get, and it will be the one that has a greater chance of outlasting the other layer ones like Solana, Avalanche, Harmony, Cosmos, Velas, all of them. Ethereum will outlast all of them, I believe, simply because not only is it got the age, longevity, but it's also got the whale money going into it. It's offered in financial instruments. By the way, people, there's 574 of you, and only 183 likes. So if you could be so kind, if you don't mind, would be if you could just smash that like button. Just smash it. That would be good. I'd love that. Right, okay. I'd love that. Thank you. Let's see any more questions. Solid's target price, don't know. Don't care for it. Are you bullish on Carrera? No. I never bought it, to be fair. Don't miss out now. Buy now. Go on the board to the BTC rocket to the literal moon. See, that is exactly, that is exactly what is intended to be created by this. This whole FOMO. Right? I'm patient. We've got 2 years. Worst case scenario, that could have been the bottom. I don't think so. It'd be impossible for that to be the bottom, I think, considering I don't think we've seen anywhere near the amount of pain we're going to see in the crypto market specifically, considering I don't think we've seen anywhere near the pain we're going to see in the global global economy and global life generally. There's so much more depression and pain and recession to come. Yeah, I think we're miles away. Top 3 launch pads to buy now. I'm not buying any launch pads. About MetaHero, Metadome. I would say Everdome was better than MetaHero personally. MetaHero is good for the tech of the Meta scanner, but Everdome is more encompassing vision, I would say. But then I'm invested in Everdome, so maybe I've got a bit of a biased effect. OxoCube, Yosupo, could you just shout, would you like to learn? Cadena. Right, let's have a look and see how Cadena is actually doing. Cadena, I've got a big fat buy waiting for that. It's already on Binance waiting. So I have to wait and see. That hasn't gone up hugely though. I mean, obviously it's gone down to 153 up to 170. It's not gone up massively. I'm unconvinced by that. I'm completely unconvinced. It seems like just a release of relief. But I'm not convinced that we've got blue skies at this point. Yeah. So I think we're in a very irrational market right now, and I think that's what you've got to take from today. Today should have been a crash, but that would be too easy, wouldn't it? It's a little bit like at 70k. All right, I'm not going to go that far, but it's a little bit like at 70k, it should have been easier to go up to 100k than to go down to 20k. But the market surprises you. And I think that it's just a pure sign of the times. Irrational market manipulation, a sign of the times. People are talking again about cryptocurrency. You know, there's 600 people watching this stream. I haven't had that in months. You know, recently I had like 300 people watching. Like, nobody was watching. Like, now crypto has become a conversation point. People are actually taking notice of it again, which means a fantastic market to wreck in leverage trading. That's exactly how the market works during leverage trading. How long do you think we will have bottom prices? I don't think that they will come and go. So I was talking to my father a couple of days ago about how long he would have to buy at the bottom. I mean, the thing is, we don't know, ultimately. But, you know, 3,000, from what I remember, lasted a while in 2018 to 19. Lasted a while. It was a good few months. It was like December to April. It was under 4,000. So it was a good long time. And I think that, you know, look, the market went up to 20k, bottomed at 3. The market then went up to 70k. So if you times 3k by 3, which is essentially the difference between the top of this market and this market, roughly, and that went down to 3,000, then it would serve as a matter of logic that it might go down to 9k. You know, it makes sense. It would make sense. But it got a long way. So look, the top was achieved in December 2017. The bottom was achieved in December 2018. We are not even close to a year yet from, you know, this top, and you know, and we don't even know yet if the top is truly in. Funny to know that, but we really don't. Market is very, very, very unpredictable. But you had 4 months to get in at the bottom. You know, because what happens is that the market isn't immediately buoyant. Because what happens is that the weak hands, you know, what you have is a bit like now, all right? So when the top came in 2017, you had people that were still bullish, like in denial. I was one of them. Denial, still talking, still investing, still looking for the 100x's. And then when we got to this point where we actually got crushed and went from 6k to 3k, people lost their shit and they disappeared. We lost a load of people, right? And therefore, what we had here was fatigue from hodlers and absolutely no new money in, right? So therefore, it lasted a while. So I could see that happening again. I could see us lasting a while again, you know? And who doesn't like to last a while? To be honest, me, every now and again anyway. Still bullish on Verve. I've already answered it. $80 to $100. I think it'll happen one day. I think it will happen once the economics fits. Okay, so at the moment we've still got a growing supply and a growing demand. Eventually there will be a stalling of supply and hopefully an avalanche of demand, which means that ADA has the most appreciative potential at that point. So it's definitely one to get as low as possible. You know, Bitcoin's been around 13 years. Cardano's been around 5 years. There's still a lot of time. Are you still bullish on HBAR? Yes. Very much so. Vechain or Cardano? Cardano, I would say, Mike. Vechain's strong, but at the same time, it's purely on supply chain. And supply chain hasn't been much of a narrative, like, ever, I don't think. So, in which case, Cardano, much better. Having said that, the Cardano hasn't had much of a narrative either. Like, nothing's really happened. So we had a bit of, with AdaPad, we had a bit of Cardano ecosystem being built, AdaLend, Sunday Swap, Astro Swap, Occam, all of these projects that came out on Card Starter and all that, and have not really contributed to Cardano really growing at all. There's arguments both sides. You've really got to go with, what do you identify with? Where do you see the long-term value of a cryptocurrency? God, I've been online for 1 hour 15 again. Vechain just got into UFC. Yeah, I saw the blood splattering on the Vechain logo in the UFC fight the other day. QMall Exchange or Tidex? Probably Tidex, I would say. Tidex looks stronger fundamentally of the two. Thoughts on Matic? It's strong. I would say Matic and Polkadot. I'm probably going to say something pretty controversial here, but I think they're both pretty overrated. Now, I was the only YouTuber that spoke about Matic, so I've got a right to say that. Okay? So I'm not... I was in from the beginning. I've done very well with it. I have nothing to... I obviously have a lot to gain to just be positive about it. But I do think Polygon is slightly overrated. I think people big it up way too much. And Polkadot, I think, is so overrated. Ah, dear. I think people just love them too more than they deserve, I think, if I'm honest with you. But, have you seen Moonbeam Chainlink partnership? Yes, I have. And I think it's just sign of things to come for Moonbeam. Moonbeam, I think, has just got an enormous trajectory ahead of it. Do you even need Matic if ETH 2.0 comes out? Well, exactly. That's the thing. It's the same with optimism. How much are you going to need them when ETH 2 comes out? They're definitely the best to use now. And as far as, they're multi-chain. Like, Polygon's multi-chain. Polygon is essentially looking to be the multi-chain scaling technology. But most infrastructures are built with most infrastructures are already built with it with inherent scalability. So it reduces the need for Polygon. So Polygon was very strong once upon a time. Very strong, because Ethereum grew more and more in popularity. It became an elite coin. And you needed Polygon, for instance, for the likes of NFTs and all that. But now we're coming to an era where Ethereum is going to be managing that to an extent. Now, it's probably going to still need some outside help. But, Moonbeam does the same thing for Ethereum. So, Polygon is not in the same market environment. So I don't know why people love it so much. Do you see Glimmer now the way you saw Matic? I find Moonbeam way more exciting than I saw Matic, if I'm honest with you. Because Matic's whole value proposition was scalability for Ethereum. That was its value proposition. Now, at the time, Ethereum was the second, and still is, the second most valuable cryptocurrency. As it got popular in the bull market, you saw those gas fees, you saw the congestion, you saw gas wars, and you needed that scaling technology. So it had its utility at the right time, leading to incredible growth. As far as nowadays is concerned, maybe still now, but as far as when Ethereum 2 comes out, what's the point? And yet for Moonbeam has not yet fulfilled its value proposition, which is essentially multi-chain connectivity, Web3 growth, obviously the throughput and scalability, the layer 2 or layer 1.5 solution that it is to Ethereum. Moonbeam, I think, has way more tools to its armor than Polygon. And even at the time, I never really counted on Polygon developing its own ecosystem, which it obviously has. Yeah, they've got IDOs and all sorts growing on Polygon. But I think it's reaching the upper limits of its trajectory. Yeah, maybe not in price right now, but I think it reached its peak to an extent. You know, where do you go from there? Hey Suppo, Bitcoin was created after the recession of 2008. Do you think Satoshi failed since Bitcoin is going down as recession is hitting? Bitcoin was supposed to be what we could rely on in a recession. No, because there's two ways Bitcoin is utilized. It's utilized as a financial instrument for speculation, and it's barely, well, it is actually utilized quite highly for its actual currency adoption. But, you know, you kind of need a relative stability with Bitcoin to be more consistently used. You need greater scalability, which it doesn't really have. So all of these things are getting built in the meantime. So, yeah, he coded it so that inflation was 100% controlled right from the beginning, you know, and it's only gotten better over time, increasing that scarcity. But as a currency, it's not yet there. It's not yet there. It's great as a store of value, but it's not yet there. And because it's a financial instrument for speculation, it's going to go down because it's priced in the dollar. You know, it's not a world reserve currency. It's not got its pride of place yet. You know, it's not even. It's only legal tender in one country. So it's not failed. It's a work in progress, a constant work in progress. It's over time that you'll really see the magic of Bitcoin, but not yet. You know, Bitcoin at this present time is really just accumulating users and holders and wallets. You know, it's got millions and millions and millions of wallets, tens of millions of wallets. So from 2009 to now, it's grown. It's the largest growing asset in history. So Satoshi hasn't failed. And because of that growth, because people are finding out about Bitcoin, because of that growth, they're going to see how they've been so screwed by the current economic model, by the current currency model, how they've been screwed for purchasing power, that eventually there is going to be a demand for countries to adopt it as legal tender. But you don't get to there in a day. You know, these periods, it was created out of a period like this, and it's going to shine in a period like this because people are going to realise how poor they've become, and they're going to realise how shit the current system is. And they're going to be wanting alternatives, and that is exactly why Bitcoin is perfect to exist now, because back in the 80s when we had a high inflation rate then, we never had a Bitcoin that we could pivot to. Now it's gaining in that network effect, like from a country adoption point of view. And we'll have to see where it is in 10 years' time. But I'm very, very optimistic about Bitcoin. But thank you very much for the $10, Mbatavirus. Really appreciate that. Vechain is still being utilized, but pile of shit. Crypto Chrissy, good to see you, Chrissy. Think of Cleaver. I don't know Cleaver, and I can't say I've ever really cared to look at it. What is your dollar number to retire? I'll take you back to Bud. What's his name? Bud Fox in Wall Street. How much is enough? How many water skis can you? How many yachts can you water ski behind? Messed that up, didn't I? But anyway, yeah. How much is enough? When you get a certain amount of money, it never feels like enough. Like, to me, it's not about the money necessarily. I don't want to make necessarily the money. Although, yes, I obviously want to have that retirement fund. But it's not about making the money for me. It's about achieving something. So when you do well in cryptocurrency, when you've picked the right coins and made the massive gainers, each one of them is like another chink to your armor. Each one of them is just another notch on the belt. You know, it's just another one of those things. You've won, you've got victories. You know, and that is what I love about cryptocurrency. It's the challenge of finding finding a diamond in the rough. So I don't think it'll ever be enough. I don't think there'll ever be an amount that's enough. I think it will be the satisfaction that I can retire thinking I've conquered it. Anyway, enough philosophical talk. Harmony 1 versus Seagull. Come on. Can Glimmer reach 150? Yeah, I think so over time. Yeah. I think it won't. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think it can be done. Like, the rate of adoption is amazing. How low will Ethereum go in this bear market? I think in the low hundreds. Have you picked up Mina yet? Yes, I did. I picked up Mina at 1. No, so I was about to say 1. That was Cadena I was thinking of, and I haven't picked up Cadena yet. I think I picked up Mina. It was in my last video. I want to say 58 cents. I want to say that. Yeah, I want to say 58 cents. That was a couple of days ago. Yeah, it sounds like 50. Looks like 58 cents was about right. Yeah. Great stream. Definitely in need of a cocktail. Super hot in the UK. Oh yeah, it is. It is boiling. That's why I haven't got a scarf on today. Oh wait a minute. Got a scarf right here. Now, let me essentially melt right in front of your eyes. How low can B&B go? B&B can go into the... It's difficult. B&B, I think, will probably have greater demand over this period. So I don't think it'll go down quite as fast as Ethereum. I think $100, 75 at absolute best. Absolute best, I would say. Why are you no longer bullish on Saito? I wouldn't say I wasn't, because they're obviously in my bear market hit list. So it would be slightly a miss to say I wasn't bullish on it. But what I would say, though, is that they are missing a slight X factor, I would say. You know, I definitely don't have the same amount of confidence I had in Matic, you know, back in the early stages. I had way more confidence Matic was... I don't see Saito getting as high as Matic ever. Particularly the more time elapses and development isn't fast, then I don't see it getting anywhere near the heights, because there's just too much good technology and too many distractions. Like, why? Like, that's what you've got to think about, right? When you're investing in cryptocurrency, microcaps are distractions. Okay, I like them. Don't get me wrong. I've made most of my money in microcaps, but or at least the transition from microcap into midcap. But microcaps, they're small and they're temporarily exciting unless they can make that transition. And for them to make that transition, they've got to be in the market for a while and be there ready at the right time to receive the value during a bull market. So it's as much about timing as it is about good fundamentals. And when you see there's 19,000 cryptocurrencies, it's difficult to maintain your love for that one cryptocurrency for all that time. Whereas the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, everybody's talking about them all the time. All the financial analysts that are non-crypto, all the crypto YouTubers and influencers, crypto Twitter, forums, you know, they grow exponentially so dramatically that they're almost too big to be seen as a distraction anymore. They're always there, and they will probably always remain. Whereas something like Saito is, you know, unless they make moves quickly, people get bored, and then it can't maintain the attention on it. So, and not only that, but you need to have good marketing. You know, and I've got to say that, you know, if you're looking at, if you want a great example, look at Elrond. You go to Elrond. You know, you've got in a nutshell what it is. You've got metrics. You've got marketing. All of these things. It's easy to understand, etc. And things that require a little bit more in terms of detail and knowledge will lose people. How much of Moonbeam's trajectory depends on how successful Polkadot becomes? At first, quite a bit of it. At first, I think Polkadot would drag it up. Like how it dragged up Kusama in the early stages, because that was the only other Polkadot project. So it had so Kusama, back in the time of an expanding and evolving bull market, pulled up Kusama with it. But Moonbeam came out after the bullishness. So it's going to rely on Polkadot initially to just drag it up for people to recognize it. And then Moonbeam will survive on its own merits. It's already developing that network effect. Look, you've seen with Chainlink, you see it's got a 100 million ecosystem fund to grow projects. And they've recently started integrating with Uniswap. So Uniswap is going to have a next level change. Uniswap is purely Ethereum based assets. And it's going to be multi-chain assets as a result of Moonbeam. So that is what's going to allow it to have its own identity external to Polkadot. Could this ETH pump during the FOMC conference just be whales baiting retail traders into another buy? Yeah. And that's the thing about cryptocurrency that you've got to really understand is that the cryptocurrency market, unlike any other market, is retail driven. Like it's retail driven. Like the population of investors and traders and speculators in crypto is 90% retail. As far as who's got the money, it's probably 90% whale driven in terms of the actual like monies involved. But in terms of the people involved, it's retail driven. Therefore, the emotions of retail is what has the biggest effect, not necessarily the money of whales. Like it's the emotions of retail. So if you can control that with the whale money, so what whales do is they essentially can make Bitcoin go up a $2,000, change the retail sentiment, bang, they all become sitting ducks, waiting to just be gobbled up. So yeah, I mean, I 100% think that it is. I think it's baiting of retail, 100%. Yeah, and it's working. It's working, and you wait and see. I've not looked on crypto Twitter yet, but I imagine there's going to be a ton of people that are like, "Market's returning, market's returning." How old are you, Suppo? You look like early 30s, you stud. Thanks, Tommy. I'd love to say I'm early 30s, but I'm not. I'm in my 30s. Just about. That's all I have to say on the matter. I am still in my 30s. Have you heard of Particia blockchain? I have. I don't know anything about when it's coming out, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm not that interested in it until that point. Until I know kind of how to get into it or something, then it's pointless. Can you imagine getting BNB at 11? Well, I got it at 72 cents, so I'm not far off it. Love you, Super. Thank you very much, Ronnie. Where do you see Uniswap in 2025? Okay, I guess. Decentralized exchanges are good, but I don't care for it. What I care for is, because I hold Uniswap, so I don't 100% not care for it, but decentralized exchanges don't do a lot for me. You know, I would just like to see Moonbeam taking it to another level. You know, I don't really see the point of I don't really care for the coin, because it's a governance coin, and I'm not part of that. I don't care about what happens on Uniswap because I'm an investor. I'm not part of the governance structure. I couldn't give a stuff about that. Not to that level. Not in an individual project. There's too much to go for. But yeah, but I'm excited to see what Moonbeam could do and how Moonbeam can rise as a result of that. What happened to conversions? You still a hodl whale? I'd say hodler. I wouldn't say whale because I mean it's worth fuck all now. You were saying a lot about Stratos earlier. Yeah, I mean, at the early stages is when most of the development happens. 37, I think he's 36. That's sweet. That's sweet. I think, but Suppo is TX more handsome than me, but I get a lot of hugs. Oh, bless you. Yeah, John, you may be right. You may be right. You may be right. But I appreciate all the compliments. Right, okay, I should probably be making a move now because I've not been talking about too much now. And do you like Solana for the next 5 years? I do. Stratos will be $15 this year. If there's a bull run, I still don't think it'll be $15, but I think that would. But I do think if there's a bull run, it could do okay. Probably $3 or $4. Is SLC still 1000x? Yeah, possibly. But at this present time, I wouldn't think about it. You know, don't bother thinking about it too much because, you know, we're not in a metaverse season. We're not in a bullish season. Both of those things are needed for Solace or any crypto to do well in the metaverse arena, unless you're Sandbox or Decentraland, in which case you're basically the Bitcoin of that anyway. So, you know, I don't expect microcaps and all that to do extremely well until we're back into a long-term bull market, and in which case we'll have to see how these projects are still going. So, you know, Sandbox and Decentraland, if Solace had existed in 2018, it would be the number one. Because it's far superior graphically than Decentraland. Decentraland is like Roblox, and Solace is like Call of Duty. It's just like beautiful in terms of detail graphics. But, you know, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter what... It doesn't matter how good something looks if it's not there at first. When the narrative bandwagon comes along, people will just try and find the first one, and then it goes up, and then it keeps going up. ETH is struggling to make test next proof of stake to work with proof of work at the same time. Your thoughts on next alt that will be used to wrap ETH, if not a merger between Polygon being bought out by ETH? I don't 100% understand what you mean, but I think what you're trying to say is that Polygon has utility until Ethereum works as a proof-of-stake cryptocurrency. And I agree with that, you know? But I don't know what the next thought will be to wrap it. You know, I still think that Moonbeam is one of the best scaling solutions for Ethereum at this point. It's already built and it's already ready. And it natively works. Elrond also. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's not about what's the most likely. It's about who do Ethereum know. Like, you have to be on the inside. I've been at these parties in cryptocurrency. I've been at, you know, parties with the great and the good of cryptocurrency, and it's all a big network. Like, people know each other, and that's how it happens. You know, through introductions. You know, you could say Moonbeam's a good competitor to Polygon. But if Vitalik doesn't know Derek Yu, or there's no connection between the two at all, they've never got to meet, they've never got to talk and discuss, nothing will happen. Now, obviously, Optimism have been able to have to talk directly with Vitalik, and Vitalik, as a result, has promoted Optimism. Hence why I think Optimism has good promise, and why I've invested in it. I'm going to take the scarf off because it's too bloody hot. So yeah, I mean, probably Optimism, I would say, to answer your question, simply because they've already got the relationship. Roblox looks to be doing a lot more than Sand and Mana. True. But it's only a matter of time. So, what do you think of XRP in the SEC case? IDC is all I've got to say to that. IDC. AKA, I don't care. So have you got aircon? I have got aircon, but it's not on. I'm strapped for cash. Your thoughts on Myota? Don't care for it. Myota, don't care. Algorand or Elrond? Definitely Elrond. Definitely Elrond. in my personal opinion. But then that's because I've done more research on Elrond, and they seem to be way more embedded into the cryptocurrency elite network than Algorand. Algorand seem like it's spoken about a lot, but nothing really happens with it. Do you think Vechain will go back all back? Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, what we've seen with China, China is a contributor to what is happening right now with the whole financial situation. This is a contributor to why the world is in shit. It's because of supply chain. Vechain directly targets China and supply chain. But there's no real adoption at this point. But like with Bitcoin, and like how this recession shows the need for a world reserve currency with the qualities of Bitcoin, the recession and what's got us into this shit will expose what crypto or blockchains or protocols are out there which are the answer to a lot of the problems, and Vechain may come out as one of them. So, you know, as time and problems kind of occur in parallel, you'll see maybe some pivots to crypto, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think the market's going to crash soon. It may not be today, but I think that this is a temporary gloss, like a temporary, you know, wave of positive emotion, and then bang, it's going to kill a load of people, way more people than had the price just crashed. You know, leverage exchanges make money both ways, right? They will make money on the fact that people set shorts for I don't know what time it is. The Fed meeting happened 7 p.m. UK time, so they would have the market would have set a ton of shorts, which got wrecked by the market rallying. The market rallying is going to set up longs and euphoria, and they're going to be destroyed as well. So instead of just destroying one side, why not destroy both sides? Where do you see Ethereum in 2040? I could see Ethereum, which I think will still be around, and will probably at that point have proof of stake anyway. I see Ethereum being well into the six figures. Well into the six figures. Yeah. And at the same time, I see Bitcoin at that point maybe 8 figures. You never know. But that is why I want such low prices. I want those low prices. You know, and I'm not being bearish because I hate crypto and I hate, you know, I'm not like, what's that guy, Noradin, or whatever his name is, I can't remember. Peter Schiff. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. I'm not bearish on the technology or the qualities of it. I just want the prices as low as possible because that means that you've got more ability to build a quicker retirement fund. You know, you're resetting the clock back dramatically. Ethereum, Bitcoin I'm not looking to buy, but really I would be looking for Solana to get under $5 in an ideal world. Solana under $5, Avalanche under $5, Ethereum under $300, Moonbeam 15 cents. In an ideal world. I probably won't get those, or I'll probably get all of those. We don't know how it's going to go, but that is why I want the bearishness, because it's necessary, because I'm so confident in the future. You know, nothing has changed in the actual assets, really. What's changed is just the price behavior around them. And I have, mentally, psychologically, I'm kind of like numb anyway to it all. So I already see it kind of almost at 100k. I see Bitcoin already I see it at 100k. That's where it should be right now. And that's what the value actually is, in my opinion. But the current price doesn't reflect the value I see for it. And I am able to see past the illusion of 20k. I'm not going to look at this price and think, oh, it's still dead, crypto's dead, game over. All that crap. So yeah. Anyway, I think that is it, because I think that I have been now live way too long. Yeah. Yeah, I have. And this is going to be an absolute bastard to put, what's it called, timestamps on, so I'm probably just going to have to leave it as is. Yeah, anyway, there you go, Marble Arch, Armando. So, thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that you have not necessarily lost perspective, and that you also see the long-term potential of building an incredible retirement fund by hoping those prices go as low as possible. Like, we want those prices. You know, if we get those prices, we're already convinced. We don't need convincing. If you're Team Suppo, you've been following me a while, you don't need convincing as to the long-term potential and the fundamentals. You know it's strong for crypto generally. And all it is really a case of just wanting the price clock taken back as much as possible so that we have a much more prosperous near future rather than long-term and distant future. Anyway, love you all, and I shall see you next time. It is lights out, all out.